Hey everybody, welcome back to Lettermen Row. I am Austin Ward. That's Jeremy Birmingham, and that guy behind Berm is CJ Saunders, who I can't believe that I'm saying this, had his appeal for a medical redshirt and a sixth year of eligibility denied by the NCAA on Tuesday. Ryan Day confirmed that publicly in a press conference as the Buckeyes get ready for training camp on Friday. Obviously, my feelings here, there's no sense in hiding them. I don't understand how this decision can possibly be made. I think the NCAA just throws darts at a wall, to see if you get an extra year or not. This guy was a former walk-on who had legitimate injuries, multiple injuries last year for his knee
Right.
that cost him an entire season. He is also a former captain and a spokesman who's organized protests for Black Lives Matter and one of the most respected teammates on Ohio State's roster. So if that's not the person that you want representing your organization, I don't know who you do. That is a person who wanted to be in college football, wearing a uniform, helping you as a fine representative, the best that you could possibly have, and you say no. How could this happen, Berm?
Well, he doesn't play quarterback, so nobody cares. That apparently is pretty much the threshold for getting an approval of whether it's a transfer waiver or a sixth year. As long as you play quarterback, you're pretty much good. Phil Jerkovic at Boston College approved today in his transfer from Notre Dame, and it's not like for a kid from Pittsburgh, Boston College is transferring home. So I don't know. I have no idea what ever motivates the NCAA to do anything that it does. It continues to suck on a colossal level when it comes to these sort of decisions. It's arbitrary. It is entirely subjective. And, the fact that you deny the kid's waiver claim is one thing. The fact that you make him wait 8 months to do it is another, because there's no realistic reason or rational explanation for why 8 months later, when we're still in the middle of this crazy ass pandemic, that you haven't told this kid 6 months ago so him and his family could start planning for the next phase of life.
Yeah, and I think this isn't about competitive balance or some edge. As much as I have enjoyed covering CJ Saunders and his story and his rise and, the underdog tale ending with a captaincy at Ohio State, which is just truly remarkable. He's not someone who was going to win the Bolitnikoff Award. He probably wasn't going to start at wide receiver for Ohio State. He would be a rotational player and maybe a punt returner. So that only to me, though, makes it more ludicrous. Ohio State wasn't trying to do this to gain some competitive advantage or try to manipulate the rules and add an extra player who could push them over the top. This is a guy who was paying his own way for some period of time. Just all of it is supposed to embody what the NCAA is all about, and to say no, when all he wants to do is a chance to maybe catch a few more passes and be around his teammates, it just blows my mind. I can't accept it for CJ Saunders, and he'll probably be much better, more understanding and equipped for it, even though it's his career. He was, probably destined to become a coach and help Brian Hartline in that wide receivers room no matter what. But I don't feel like he should have had to do that this year.
Yeah, I mean, he has 27 catches, 1 touchdown in his career. It's not as though, as you said, he's not been like the go-to guy for Ohio State. It isn't a story where somebody is changing the roster too much one way or the other. I mean, a lot of people will probably argue that the Buckeyes would be better off turning over the wide receiver room to the young guys and letting Julian Fleming and Jackson Smith and Jigba and G. Scott and Mookie Cooper and Cam Babb and all these other guys that have been waiting their turn, let them get in there and take the reps. But for the program, for what you want out of a college football athlete, from a college a student athlete, from a young man representing your team and your sport, it sort of just is inexcusable to turn him down. Because again, it's not like he missed last season with a broken finger or something that could have been played through. He had 2 knee surgeries that cost him his final season. So as you can see behind me, obviously he went through the senior day stuff last year. So Ohio State had an inclination that this may go this way. But again, with the NCAA and the just absolutely inane sense of like justice or legislative power they have, they just kind of pick and choose. And CJ Saunders will still be a part of the Ohio State football program, which is perhaps the most important thing of this, but not in the capacity he wanted to be.
Yeah, and it wasn't just Ohio State that thought it might go this way. CJ Saunders made that decision as well. He didn't have to walk on senior day. He chose to do that, and I had several conversations with him where, well, here are the options. He could have tried to take a stab at the NFL. Now that you might think that's a long shot, but everything about his career has worked out that way. Or he could have tried to transfer, or he could have had this appeal, approved, not approved. Whether it was at Ohio State or anywhere else. So there was no guarantee, but he had already given so much to his program that it made sense last November to go through that. It still strikes me as wildly unfair. I don't normally try to take stands against what the NCAA does, because in the end, that is just a collection of the schools trying to agree on a set of rules. But the players are the ones that are fighting for more opportunities, better opportunities. They're supposed to have support from these organizations and their schools. Ohio State obviously did what they could to try and get him back on the field, and they certainly have a spot for him on the coaching staff. But I can't get there that he doesn't get a chance to end his playing career on his terms. That strikes me as grossly unfair.
Well, the NCAA is nothing if not grossly unfair, and therefore it shouldn't be a surprise, unfortunately. But it isn't a surprise, but it is unfortunate because, again, the good news for Ohio State is that he's still going to be around the program and still going to be, as a Columbus native, someone who can help the team and help these young receivers develop. But you certainly would have liked to have seen him get a chance to suit up and play one more time and really kind of leave it all out on the field in whatever type of season we have coming up.
All right, CJ Saunders' playing career with the Buckeyes over, but Ohio State has room for him in some capacity on the coaching staff moving forward. We'll no doubt be revisiting this with CJ Saunders at some point down the road to get his thoughts. But for now, that's just Jeremy Birmingham and me, Austin Ward, giving our 2 cents on what happened with his denial of a 6th year with the Buckeyes. For more coverage of that and everything else as the Buckeyes get ready for the 2020 football season, stick with us at Lettermen Row.